Hello, welcome to ACE Manager. Process and Governance Focus. ACE 50. Relevance of intangibles in managerial effectiveness. In my earlier podcasts, we have noted what are intangibles. When I keep thinking about intangibles, their relevance at 3 levels appears important to me. I felt it is appropriate to earmark a podcast. Incidentally, my last is in the ACE Manager series. The 3 levels I am talking about are: Level 1, industry in general, with particular reference to business organizations which have created great value in the last 2 or 3 decades. Level 2, your own employer or client. And level 3, your own individual self. Aim of this podcast is to enable learnings from level 1 to attempt improvements at level 2 and level 3. Level 1. Ever since balance sheets are drawn up, assets known are physical assets like land, buildings, machinery, plant and inventory, and financial assets like cash and bank, receivables and investments. Traditionally, these assets accounted for major component of market value of business organizations. Only intangible asset that came to one's mind at that time was goodwill, representing the brand value. Now, let us look at other intangibles which are making a phenomenal impact on the business valuations in the last 2 or 3 decades. We could broadly categorize intangible assets as customer assets, employee assets, supplier assets, and organizational assets. If you look at the valuation of well-known internet companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, in the last few decades, there has been a significant jump in their market valuations when compared with the book value of their own assets. Such excess of market value over book value represented the value of their intangible assets not reflected in their balance sheets. These companies, through their innovative business models, exploiting the internet, are able to achieve phenomenal valuations, unleashing the potential of their intangible assets. In such huge market valuations, intangibles are accounting for more than 90% of their total valuation. Market is willing to pay such a price for the organization's potential to earn in future and for wealth creation. Level 2. If you are an employee, your employer, and if you are a consultant, your client, are referred to as your organization here. Can we learn from the business models of large successful enterprises like the above, described under level 1, to add value to your organization? By focusing on the growth of the organization's intangible assets, first, we need to identify what are your organization's intangible assets and then attempt to assess their current value and their potential for growth along with positive business outcomes. In relation to your employee assets, supplier assets, and customer assets, I like to suggest some questions, say 3 under each category, for a self-appraisal. In relation to your employees, do we recognize that employees are an important asset, deserving the attention of the top management all the time? Do you follow best practices in human resource planning, talent acquisition, training, performance monitoring, and rewarding the right people? And Does your organization provide clarity on authority, roles and responsibilities, and reporting relationships? In relation to your supplier assets, do you have a proper vendor selection and induction process? Do you ensure genuine competition amongst vendors while awarding contracts? Do you blacklist non-performing vendors and organize suitable replacements? In relation to your customer assets, do you consider right customer acquisition as an important goal? Have you made customer satisfaction a key performance indicator? And do you constantly explore areas where you could add value to your customers? When it comes to organizational assets, it is much wider in scope. Leadership, strategies, systems and processes, knowledge sharing, information for decision making, intellectual property, brands, reputation, all become very important. And you have seen many related podcasts in Ace Manager in these areas. Level 3. Let us come to your level and see how one could add value to oneself through the concept of intangibles. Your tangible assets are obvious, like the properties you own, your investments, vehicles, and bank balance. Under your intangibles, integrity tops the list of personal qualities which I value most. The rest of the qualities are listed below in no particular order. Conceptual clarity, ability to organize thoughts, ability to express, anticipate, tolerate and listen to unpleasant feedback, self-assessment of own competence, having goals in life, converting them into tasks and pursuing, avoiding waste thoughts, developing powerful thoughts, attempting to extend the sphere of your positive influence on others, keeping anger, ego, and jealousy under check, recognizing tolerance and cooperation as great powers, keeping materiality in mind, abundance mentality, and loving your own efforts. Awareness of intangibles and at levels 1 and 2 and efforts in the direction of improving your own intangibles under level 3 will certainly make you an effective manager. Please wait for my concluding remarks on Ace Manager. Thank you for your attention.